the independent review identified the serious issues relating to the remote weapon system and strongly recommended that alternate weapon systems be evaluated with a view of providing a suitable replacement, and Defence then asked Hanwha to go and look for a suitable replacement. But why would you do that if, as your colleague just said, you need the weapon system because it's got broader integration requirements?
Because for this system, we mandated to Hanwha that the EOS RWS was the remote weapon system to be utilised on this vehicle. When we start looking at, through industry, reporting where there might be technical risk for that, technical issues, we need to understand, is there a way forward in that integration occurring? Can industry work with its subcontractor to find a solution, but also to have alternate solutions if that was not going to be achievable? In this regard, Hanwha was able to work with EOS through that to get into a position to go into contract for the integration of the RWS.
So an independent review says that the weapon system is not appropriate, you should look for an alternative, but you can't have an alternative because you need that weapon system, and then you ask Hanwha to look for alternatives knowing that you can't have an alternative. I don't really understand what's happened here.
No.
What am I missing?
No, we looked at what would be the changes required to look at an alternate weapon system being used, and Hanwha are best placed to determine what would be the schedule, the cost, what would be the change to the program if they were to look at alternate solutions, and the maturity of those systems for what they require as well. The technical elements of the integration during this whole time were also being worked through between Hanwha and EOS to get to a level of requirement that met the Commonwealth's contract. So it's ensuring that Hanwha are looking at options and providing advice back on what is the best path forward to achieve a remote weapon station. In this case, the outcome was to remain with the EOS system.
I might just go to the Auditor-General's office because there was also an independent assurance review conducted in March 2025 that identified the same emerging risks as reported by the Scram Review. And also no, I might just leave it at that. So, I mean, in conducting the audit, did the Auditor-General's office find that Defence had managed that procurement issue appropriately, or was the issues identified in the Scram Review still? Was there? Is there any comment on that?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Ian Goodwin, ANAO. This very much goes back to probably the key finding and recommendation one that the Auditor-General outlined around the development of the project. So initially from looking for a military off-the-shelf system to a mature and proven technology, and to the fact that in the end Defence acknowledged that through the tenders that they received had developmental aspects. Those developmental aspects introduce integration risk, and in this case, to your question, Defence had mandated that Hanwha would contract with EOS, which is sort of outlined in Appendix 5 around the remote weapon system. The thing I'd point out is in paragraph 3.28 of the Auditor-General's report, while it is true that Defence are requiring Hanwha to integrate that solution, the ultimate responsibility for the management and the acceptance of integration and delivery risks doesn't necessarily reside with the subcontract, it does reside with the department. And that goes to the finding of the Scram Review. The Scram Review did point that out, and the IAR in March 25 did reinforce what the Scram Review identified. I would also just point out, Chair, that It is true that to Major General Blain's testimony around the DDR, but it would just be helpful to clarify, because in footnote 136 of our report, it was highlighted that the DDR at that time would be conducted without incorporating the RWS integration.
So can you just say that again? What was it? 1 point what?
It's footnote 136. So it goes to the fact that that Defence will still be doing a detailed design review in support of the IBR, the Integrated Baseline Review. And Defence had advised at that time, when we were conducting the audit, that the detailed design review would be conducted without incorporating the RWS integration aspect of the project, and a Delta detailed design review would be conducted at a later date incorporating the RWS integration aspects of the project.
And when was that done?
So that was as at July 2025 in terms of the documentation. Defence could probably give an update on that aspect of the DDR, but it goes to the integration risks around mandating developmental aspects of technology into an integrated system.